3 paramedics, 5 police officers, and 8 firefighters are lining up for a photograph to promote local emergency services. In how many ways can they line up if the people of the same profession must stand together? So what does that mean for us? All 3 paramedics need to be side by side, the 8 firefighters need to line up and be side by side, and the 5 police officers need to be standing together. So let's imagine we're the photographer, and it's our job to put people in this lineup for the photograph. Okay. What can we do? Well, first, and it's always a good idea to lay out your choices, especially if it's a bigger question. Okay. Let's line up the paramedics among themselves. So we won't worry about where they're actually standing relative to the firemen, well, firefighters, because the firemen and firewomen, I guess. Doesn't matter where they are in terms of the firefighters or the police officers. Okay, we just want to line up the paramedics. So we've got 3 paramedics. It's a lineup. It's a nice linear permutation. So there's 3 factorial ways. We could write this as a 6, but I'm not going to because we're going to have more factorials. Next, let's arrange the police officers among themselves. Okay. We have 5 police officers. It's still linear permutation. They're still going to be lining up for the photograph, so still 5 factorial. Okay, so that's how many ways there are to line up the paramedics, ways to line up the police officers, and it was 8 firefighters. So next, we'll order. I'm just trying to change up my terms. Line up, arrange, order the firefighters. Okay, and there's 8 of them, so 8 factorial ways to arrange 8 people. Okay, so 8 factorial ways to do that. So we might think that that's it. Okay, 3 factorial ways, so line up the paramedics, then line up the police officers, then I line up the firefighters. Okay, we did this, then this, then this, so you might think, we'll just multiply them all together. But we're missing something. Okay, we're missing something crucial. What we have right now, if we imagine we've got our photography studio, here's the background, here's the stand for our camera. Okay, we're going to take the photograph. What we have right now is the paramedics are all together in a lineup. Okay, the police officers are all together, lined up. And the firefighters are all lined up, nice and neat and pretty. Okay, but they're waiting to actually be told where to stand. Okay? People of the same profession have to be together, but how are the professions lined up? Okay, is it paramedics all on the left, officers in the middle, and the firefighters over here on the right? Or maybe the police officers are over on the right. Maybe the firefighters are on the left. And maybe the paramedics are sitting in the middle. Standing in the middle, I guess. Okay? So even though we've arranged people of the same profession together, we haven't actually arranged these professions, and that's something people will miss. So there's step number 4. Line up or arrange or order the professions. Okay, what we have effectively done is we made sort of a block, a giant hybrid super person, all the police officers. Okay? We made a blob of all the firefighters standing in line and sort of a super paramedic over here. So now that these have been arranged together, we can consider them as single objects. We've got 1, 2, 3 blocks of people. How do we arrange 3 blocks? 3 factorial. Okay? And so that puts our final answer at 3 factorial ways for the paramedic, times 5 factorial ways for the police to form a block, times 8 factorial for the firefighters, times 3 factorial for arranging the blocks of professions, the hybrid super blob people, in a line for the actual photograph. So there is our final answer.